Miss Ruth, and we are going to be doing a special story time about banned books. Now, banned books doesn't mean that a book was bad. What we want to do is celebrate the freedom to read. If you don't like a book, that's okay, but maybe somebody else is going to like the book. So today we're going to be, our first book is Something Happened in Our Town, and it is written by Marina Solano, Marionette Collins, and Anne Hazard. Now, this book, some people said that it had divisive language and was promoting anti-police views. But these three authors are three psychologists with their PhDs, and they just wanted to help bring a conversation that talks about racial injustice, modeling conversations about race, and this book provides a message of acceptance, empowerment, and positive community support. And now for parents and caregivers, in the back of the book, they have tons of resources and definitions and both kids with friendly vocabulary. So make sure you check out this book. It's pretty awesome. Okay, and then we have another book coming up after this one. So something bad happened in our town. The news was on the TV, the radio, and the internet. The grown-ups didn't think the kids knew about it, but the kids in Miss Garcia's class heard some older kids talking about it, and they had questions. We all have questions at times. After school, Emma asked her mother, "Why did the police shoot that man?" "It was a mistake," said her mother. "I feel sad for the man and his family." "Yes, the police thought he had a gun," said her father. "It wasn't a mistake," said her sister Liz. "The cops shot him because he was black." Emma was confused. "He is brown, not black," she said. "Some black people have dark brown skin, and some people have light brown skin," Emma's father explained. "Black usually means African American. Most of their ancestors were brought here from Africa as slaves." "I know what a slave is," said Emma. "That's when you have to do whatever the other person says." Yes, slaves had to do whatever white people told them to do. Even after slavery ended, white people didn't let black people live where they wanted, go to school with white people, or vote. Who are white people? White people come here from places in Europe or Russia or other countries. We are white even though our skin is light tan. "Did our family do those bad things a long time ago?" asked Emma. "Yes," answered her mother. "Back when many white people thought that they were better than black people, even though it wasn't true." Liz added, "Some white people still think most black men and boys are dangerous, even though they are not." "Was the man who got shot dangerous?" asked Emma. "No," her mother said. "Shooting him was a mistake. It was a mistake that is part of a pattern." "Like the pattern on my blanket?" Emma asked. "Yes, but this pattern is being nice to white people and being mean to black people. That is unfair pattern." Oh, that doesn't sound nice. We have to be nice to everyone. "Suppose you had a birthday party and invited everyone in your class except the black kids," her mother said. "How would the black kids feel?" "They would be sad," Emma said, "or mad. And you would be missing out because you would never know who's going to be your best friend," says Liz. "And you could help others to be fair," said her mother. "Like telling Anna to stop teasing Ling about her name?" Emma asked. Her mother gave her a hug. "Yes, just like that. We have to be nice to everyone. No teasing or being mean." In another house, Josh asked his mother, "Can police go to jail?" "Yes," said his mother. "Why do you ask?" "That white policeman who shot the black man," said Josh. "Will he go to jail?" "What he did was wrong," said his mother. See, we've got some pictures right here. "But he won't go to jail," says his father. "Why not?" asked Josh. "Cops stick up for each other," said Josh's brother Malcolm, "and they don't like black men." Josh was confused. "Why not? Some police are black." "You're right," said his mother. "Uncle Josh is a police officer, and so is my friend Kenya. There are many cops, black and white, who make good choices," said his father. But we can't always count on them to do what's right. So lots of cops do make good decisions, but we don't always know if they're going to make good decisions. Malcolm added, I could get stopped by the police just because I'm Black, even if I didn't do anything wrong. That's not fair, Josh said. What if there was a white man in the car? Would the police have shot him? They probably wouldn't have even stopped the car, said his father. Sometimes white people are treated better than Black people, said his mother. But it's not right. Everybody should be treated fairly. Josh's mother gave him a hug. We're proud of who we are. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela were strong and brave Black leaders. They showed us that we could stand up for our rights and set good examples for others. They were treated unfairly, but helped others to learn to be more fair. So we could all work to make sure that we treat everyone fair and nice. Some people haven't learned yet, said his father angrily. Why are you mad? Asked Josh. I'm mad that we're still treated poorly sometimes, but I can use my anger to make things better, said his father. Black people have a lot of power if we work together to make changes. So we can all work together to make good decisions. I have power, Josh said, and I'm smart. His father smiled. You're right. His mother added, and you could change people's hearts by sticking up for someone who is not treated fairly. Like how Malcolm sticks up for me when kids tease me about my glasses, Josh asked. He tells them to step off. Just like that, his parents said. So see, when someone teases Josh about wearing glasses, he has a friend who says, hey, be nice. The next day, a new kid joined Emma in Josh's class. His name was Ahmed, and he was from a country far away. Ahmed didn't know where to sit or what to do because it was his first day in school. He talked a little bit, but it was hard to understand him. He said he was learning English. Well, a lot of people know lots of different languages other than English, and it takes time to learn a new one. After lunch, the class went outside to play soccer. Oh, do you like to play soccer? I do. Daniel and Sophia picked kids to be in their teams. All the kids were picked to be on a team except Ahmed. Oh no, he's all by himself. Daniel said Ahmed probably didn't know how to play because he was new. Sophia said Ahmed might not be good at soccer. It's okay if we're not good at something, but we want to make sure everyone can play. Josh remembered what his mother said about sticking up for people who were treated unfairly. Emma remembered what her mother said about unfair patterns in birthday parties. So they're thinking about what they talked about with their parents. And it's not right that Ahmed is all by himself. All of a sudden, Ahmed wasn't alone. Emma and Josh were leading him to their team. We have enough kids on our team, Daniel said. We don't need him. But Joshua was ready. Step off, he said. He's playing. Yeah, said Emma. We don't want to miss out. So they don't want to miss out on a new friend in Ahmed. Oh, look at all three of them together. And just like that, Emma and Josh gained a new friend and started a better pattern in their school. Oh, look how great. They're all happy and friends and playing together. The end. So I love this book, and you could request it through our library system if you would like to read it. And before we get to the next book, we're going to do a little finger play. So we have our fingers that we could hold up, and it's called Two Little Friends. So we're going to start off with two little friends, then three little friends, then four little friends, okay? So two little friends are better than one. Three are better than two, and four are much better still. Just think what four little friends can do. Just like the kids in the book, maybe they can play soccer or play at the park. That's a good book. Okay, so now we're going to let Mr. Nate read his book. Make sure he gets on. He's at a different computer. Miss Ruth is working from home today.
All right, we're trying to get Ruth unpinned. There we go. All right, so hi everyone. This is Mr. Nate with the Visalia Branch Library. Thank you, Ruth, for sharing that story. So today I'm going to be sharing another Banned and Challenged book called And Tango Makes Three. And it's a story about two penguins, and this is a real story. It actually happened. But at the end of the story, we're going to do a quick drawing activity. So if you have paper or crayons or pencils, I'm going to be using a whiteboard and a marker. Go grab those now so you're ready at the end of the story to do our little activity. So this one's called And Tango Makes Three by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell. And the illustrations were done by Henry Cole. So this is a story. This took place in a zoo. And it's about two chinstrap penguins. And if you look at the cover, can you guess why they're called chinstrap penguins? Because they have a ring of black feathers that goes around their chin. So in the middle of New York City, there is a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy boat pond where they can sail their boats, just like that. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink to skate on in the winter. That'd be super fun. Best of all, it has its very own zoo. And every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals that live there. We're getting out of frame. But children and their parents aren't the only families at the zoo. The animals make families of their own. Can you see any animals in the picture? Those look like monkeys, maybe a toucan, another kind of bird, and this is a tough one, a red panda. So there are red panda bear families with mothers and fathers and furry red panda bear cubs. There are monkey dads and monkey moms raising noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families, and even cotton top tamarin families too. Oh, that was a tough word. And in the penguin house, there are penguin families. Look at all those penguins swimming, running around on the rocks, bowing. So every year at the same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins, and the boy penguins start noticing the girls. And when the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. So two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy and the other was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and they walked together. They even sang together and they swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Gramsci, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. So Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home. So they built a nest of stones for themselves. You see it right there? They're gathering stones and they're building a nice little nest. So they built a nest of stones for themselves. Every night, Roy and Silo slept together just like the other penguin couples. It looks like they made a pretty big nest. It looks pretty cozy sleeping. And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something they couldn't. The mama penguins would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch. And there would be a baby penguin. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. Do you see it? Do you know what that is? It's not an egg. It's a rock. So he brought a rock back to the nest. But Silo carefully sat on it just like an egg, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. When Silo got sleepy, he slept. And when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam, and then Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock. He's looking pretty sleepy there. Roy looks a little angry, but nothing happened. Then Mr. Gramsci had an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. That was pretty nice of him. Roy and Silo knew just what to do. They moved the egg to the center of their nest, Every day they turned it so each side stayed warm, flipped it over, kind of like a burger. Some days Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days it was Silo's turn to take care of the egg. They sat in the morning, and they sat at night, and they sat through lunchtime and swim time and even supper. They sat at the beginning of the month and they sat at the end of the month. And they sat all of the days in between. Until one day, they heard a sound coming from inside the egg. Do you know what sound it'd be? Maybe a little peep, 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 peep. Kind of like a baby chick, but it's a baby penguin. So Roy and Silo called back, squawk, squawk. Can you do a good penguin noise? And peep, peep, answered the egg. Suddenly, a tiny hole appeared in the egg's shell. And then, look, it's getting bigger and bigger. And out pops a little head. Look this way. Crack! Out came their very own baby. She had fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. Gramsci decided, because it takes two to make a tango. And see how the baby doesn't have all those bright black feathers like the adults, because they come out of the egg looking like this, kind of fluffy, not as cute as the big penguins. And then they get their feathers in when they get older. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food from their beaks. They snuggled her in their nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin at the zoo to have two dads. Soon, Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her for a swim, just like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penguin house with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Welcome, Tango, they cheered. At night, the three penguins returned to their nest. There they snuggled together like all the other penguins in the penguin house, and all the other animals in the zoo, and all the families in the big city around them. They went to sleep. The end. So I thought that was super cute. And that's based on a true story over at the New York Zoo. These two boy penguins were trying to hatch an egg, but they thought it was an egg, but it was a rock. So they gave them an extra egg because most penguin couples can only raise one at a time. So they were able to save an egg that otherwise wouldn't have made it. So we're going to do a super fun activity. It's quick drawing. If you have pencil, crayons, paper, or whiteboard at home, you can follow along, okay? So, do you know what letter the word penguin starts with? So it starts with P, okay? And so we're gonna do a super fun activity where we make a penguin out of the letter P. So to do that, we're gonna have to make our penguin a little bit bigger. So we'll start off, make a nice big P. Okay, but we're gonna make it like a box letter. So we'll fill it in just like that, okay? And then we wanna color in black all around our letter. So it's nice and filled in. It's a little bit tougher to do with these whiteboard markers though. And we're gonna leave that spot white right there, okay? And if you're watching this later on Facebook or Instagram, you can always pause and catch up. And then share what you do in the comments because we would love to see. Did you draw your P on there yet? All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give them a big round belly because penguins love to slide on their bellies. And that's gonna go right here, connected to the bottom. There we go. And we're gonna give them an eye up here. You see it? All right, and penguins have two fins that they use to help them swim. So we'll give them a nice round fin. And those fins are going to be black too. The top of it's black, but sometimes the bottom's white. There we go. And I think our penguin's missing a little something. Maybe a beak and some flippers. So if you've got an orange crayon or marker, we can give our penguin a little beak. There we go. And then we'll give them 2 flippers at the bottom. And those flippers are just kind of triangles with little triangles on the end of them. We can give another one over here. And there you go. We got a penguin made out of the letter P for penguin. All right.
Here's my penguin.
Let's see Ruth's. Oh, that looks awesome. All right, did anyone else make one? Are you working on one? Well, if you are, we'll talk real quick. We've got September's coming to a close. And at the end of the month, we're doing our book giveaway for Eyes That Kiss in the Corners. So if you took home one of our paper lantern crafts, make sure to share your finished craft with us. You can post it on social media. You can bring in a picture of it. You can bring in the completed craft and just show us over at the children's desk. We'll put your name in a drawing, and then we'll draw it out at the end of the month and see who wins this book. We've only got one though, okay? Don't forget, we've also got our book festival coming up in October, so keep an eye out for that. And we'll be doing story times every week. We'll post more info on next week's story time, hopefully later today. Thank you guys for joining our story time today, and we will see you next week. And if you missed it, we'll be putting this on Facebook and Instagram later today. Bye.